Joey,
How you doing, David?
tell me you bought that sweatshirt just for the show and you don't wear that normally.
Yeah.
I was actually cold here, so I actually brought the sweatshirt, and it was the last thing I just grabbed. And I'm sorry about that, but I had to.
No, it's okay. I just want to know what I'm dealing with here. I saw your flat Earth discussion from 2017.
Right.
Pretty cheesy, eh?
Well, it's all right. You know,
That's when we didn't know anything.
Well, I'm wondering what you know now. So here we are.
So I got your
There you
app
go.
here.
You can X that little pop-up out. Get rid of the blue bar on there. There's the little pop-up. You don't have to subscribe. Just X it out.
Don't want to do that.
No, not on there, on the app that you were showing me.
Oh, yeah. No, I
You
know
see
that.
the little pop-up?
I've never been looking at the phone.
That pops up once a
But,
day. Just you can X that out.
I like the video. So anyways,
Nice.
it was worth the $3.99 Canadian.
Nice. It is. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Do you like being called David or Dave?
I don't like either, but you can call me whatever you like.
Fair enough.
Dave, David, Flat Earth Dave, whatever you want. It's all good.
All right, Dave.
All right,
Well,
let's get started here.
it's a pleasure to see you tonight because you're a busy guy. And I haven't thought about this topic for a long time. So I saw you live a few weeks ago. So we're here finally.
All right.
So Joey made some questions for you. He wants to see you sweat, Dave.
I'm not gonna sweat. Joey's gonna sweat.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to see
Okay,
it.
all right.
Joey,
So-
I
so
predict.
I was actually watching your one of your videos where you were discussing your app and how Earth was flat and how you believe the sun and the moon rotate around the flat Earth. Now, okay, I have a question for you. So if the sun and the moon are actually rotating around each other, how, in fact, do you get a half moon, quarter moon, no moon, full moon? It should be a full moon all the time.
No, that's not correct. So the first thing is you have to get out of the idea that the sun and the moon are these big giant balls floating up in the sky. The sun and the moon are small within our system, and I don't believe that the sun and the moon that we see are actually physical, right? They migrate in between the two tropics. This inner line is the Tropic of Cancer. The outer line is the Tropic of Capricorn, and this is the equator. The sun and the moon, they spin on their own wheels within here. And now we're led to believe that it's the sunlight that's lighting up the moon. But there's certain times of the month where the sunlight, the lit part of the moon doesn't match with the sun at all. But again, the optics of the sky could be very, very confusing. But the thing is, the moon is its own light. I believe that the sun is sending energy to the moon and it is powering the moon. I believe there's a connection. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but by your diagram in the back behind you, are you believing that the sun and the moon are the same size?
Yeah, absolutely. They're the same size that we're in the Earth system. We live in this free energy system that they don't want us to know about. The sun is the cathode, the moon is the anode, the salt water carries the current, the land is the salt bridge, and it's a giant battery system, and that's measurable, testable. Nikola Tesla proved it with all the free energy at the World's Fairs or wherever he did that. Maybe it wasn't the World's Fair. Maybe it was. I think it was the World's Fair.
It was.
So it's this energetic system. And again, there's a lot to learn about it, but the sun and the moon are provably not the distances they tell us. Today, the moon was the half moon was in the sky, in the day sky. And I'm at the beach today and I'm looking, the moon is right there. It's right there. There's blue sky beyond it. Okay. What is the moon? Who the heck knows, man? The moon is the most mysterious thing ever.
So you don't believe we landed on the moon?
Oh, absolutely not. We're gonna destroy NASA. You're gonna be taking that sweatshirt off in about 5 minutes.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but okay.
All right. You want to start with NASA, or you want to go on the flat Earth first?
All right, let's start with NASA then. You want to start? Let's go with NASA then.
Yeah. So again, when people say, if NASA was faking it, the other space agencies, they would rat them out. NASA, RAXA, the Japanese, the Chinese space. The Indians, they're all in it together. This is one big thing. The division of countries is just dividing up the human race to keep us from not bringing our energies together. They divide us up by countries. They divide us up by religions, races, sexes, political parties, sports teams, they divide. And because they know that if we get together, their days are numbered. So all you have to do to prove that we never went to the moon is just catch them lying once, catch them faking a rocket launch, catch them faking 0G on the International Space Station. Okay. So let's look at this rocket. This is a Elon Musk rocket that he was testing the other day. If you can watch this and think that this is real, you're yeah, I'm going to say that you're not thinking. This is filled with helium. Okay. This thing, now look at it. Look at the camera angle. You see how we're filming the side? And now watch, they're going to show you the onboard camera. So we have this kind of side view. This thing weighs, a couple million pounds. Look how high it is. How do we get a side shot like that? Watch again. Look how high it is. It's way the fuck up there. And look at the side view. Now, this thing is now, if it's empty, it's it's like 40,000 pounds falling out of the.
As it falls, it's not empty because it has a reserve to actually be able
so it's
to
even
land.
heavier. So this thing is falling out of the sky. Look at the smoke or the steam. Look how high it is.
Okay,
right?
but the wings are actually to decrease it from falling at maximum speed.
So, but look at the smoke coming off of it. It's barely moving. It's barely moving. You can look at it and it's just floating. It's literally a balloon. If this was falling at a 1/10 of maximum speed, it wouldn't look like that. And then this little flame, wait, first, who got underneath this thing? Okay. And then these two engines go out and this one little flame lands this thing perfectly upright.
The type of rocket engine that they actually use for that is actually it's not like the old days.
This
is
all
like
CGI smoke
or anything like that.
All of that smoke is just CGI. This is all nonsense. Look at the thing. It's coming out at an angle. It's coming out. This thing comes down and lands like a feather. If you believe that, that's insanity.
Okay, David. I mean, cameras.
I don't mean to insult you, by the way. I'm sorry.
Cameras can do amazing things nowadays.
All right.
Do you agree upon that?
Let's go on, because if this one doesn't work for you, I got more. This is the Chinese landed on the moon just the other day.
I saw that one that you showed about the shadow and everything.
I mean, you agree that this is first.
But that is a CGI. That's a CGI.
Okay, good. So we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So on the space station, they had some fresh food delivered, and they were playing with a lemon.
I saw that you showed that. Yeah.
Why are they faking things floating in space?
And I don't believe they're faking it. I believe it was a camera misfunction.
That's a camera misfunction.
Absolutely. So if a camera actually goes at a slower rate of speed, different frames per second, and then it actually catches the arm going a little bit faster at a faster rate per second, it'll actually look like it's actually going right transparent right through your hand.
All right, how about this? Is this a camera misfunction when these guys are in separate rooms, separate green screens? The guy holding, you'll see in a second.
Chris Hadfield?
Yeah, Chris Hadfield. He takes the microphone and he sticks it right into his neck. The microphone is inside his neck. You're going to say this is compression, right?
No, it's not compression. Actually, it's a camera mishap. Up there, there's no gravity. Okay, and therefore the cameras function a little bit differently. And the rates of speed actually malfunction as they're recording themselves.
Okay, well, cool story.
You got more, right, Dave?
We're going to keep going. I'm curious how many excuses you can make. Now, this ball is filled with helium. So this is a real ball, but look right here. That's not real. They even made a little beaming noise and a little beaming thing like Star Trek.
Right, but they did that afterwards. After it was recorded, or even during live.
So this was live, and so why is it not there? And all of a sudden it is there. This is not a real object.
Actually, it is true that cameras can do that, right? I mean, if you watch the news on a daily basis, they have the things behind them. They can do whatever they want in front of you. They can actually. Do you think Spock actually was like?
No, look, this is what they're doing. This is called augmented reality. Why are they faking floating things in space?
Well,
why are they faking it?
I can't really debate on that.
I'll tell you why, because they're not in space, right? Look at these guys. These guys are hanging from waist harnesses. Look at these heavy pants.
I heard all about that one too.
Yeah. So what's your excuse there? Gravity?
No, it's not gravity. It's basically to hold them in place.
What's holding them in place?
The harnesses.
Oh, so why don't we see the harnesses?
Well, didn't you just say that you? I'm sorry, I couldn't see.
They are, but we like the wires are washed out. You can't see the wires. Why are they using harnesses?
Okay, no, like okay, first of all, apparently they have foot holders, which I actually can't even see if they had them right there or not, which would
They
actually
have them
hold
right.
them in
They have
place.
them right down there. There's a bar that they have their foot under.
Right. Okay,
Right.
so that would be holding them in place. But honestly, I actually saw a video of the one where they actually say that there was a wire holding them, and that it was actually mistaken for something else. Now, somebody said that it was one of the wires that was just floating past them, and then next thing you know,
What
I
about
mean,
this one?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not
What-
saying that you're wrong when you say that NASA has lied to us. I absolutely agree with you. When
What
you say
about
NASA
this?
has
What
lied
about
to
this
us.
one, Joey? Is this guy hanging from a harness?
Well, sure. I
Okay,
can see it.
why are they faking him floating by in the background?
I think that they're probably practicing or rehearsing for something when they go up. That could
No,
be
this
down
is
here.
this is live from the space station. This was
Oh,
live from the space station.
That would never happen if that was live.
No, this has happened, but you couldn't see it because it was way in the background. Look, he's flipping his hat around there. This is augmented reality. It's not a real hat. In the script, the guy in the blue is supposed to hand the hat to the guy in the green, but he moves this hand first. Watch, and he mistakes it for the hat, and he takes the hat and he puts it away, but he realizes he didn't get it. Okay, and then he was about to hand it to him right here, right? And he realized, and then you should have seen, you watched
Okay,
them.
I got you on that one. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So again, they're faking all of the stuff that floats. Now you'll say this is just compression, but everything that was floating, including them, glitched out. But you'll say that's cosmic rays.
Well, yeah, no, I've seen that before too, and I mean,
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with you right now that NASA has lied to us. I know that they've lied to us. Absolutely, they've lied to us, but they've told us the truth also about a lot of things.
So tell me why when this guy drops his hammer, why he can't pick it up?
You know, well, he can't.
Why can't he?
Well, because he can't bend down.
Why can't he?
He can't push himself back up.
Why he can't even get down? It's because he's hanging from wires and he can't get enough momentum to pull whatever that force is that's holding him.
That at all before.
I still don't believe that one.
Yeah. These guys are hanging from wires. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. And here, these guys are supposedly in this. This is the moon.
Wait, that's not the lander that Neil Armstrong and
no, that's a different one. But this is one that they already took off and they're coming back and they're going to meet with the orbiter. There's two grown men wearing diapers in here. Do you believe that? This is a model. This is an Airfix model. Okay. But this is what NASA showed us.
I've never seen that one.
This is real footage. This is from NASA. Okay. And then when this thing took off from the moon, first, how did the camera
16.
pan up? What's up with the camera panning? Okay. And
well, at that time, they already had stationized their cameras on the moon.
And they had it. So they had a time to go up when it took off.
Well, it's all digital, wouldn't it be at that?
Was
well,
it's digital in 1970.
No, it's not actually. It's 1972. That's right. Apollo 16. Yeah. So no, it wouldn't be digital. It's all film. But I can't give. I don't know. I don't know if that's even panning up or not. It's at such a distance that after when they, I guess, edited the footage, it looks like that could be panning it up.
No, it was if you have I don't have the full footage here, but it was a total pan up.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so when Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, right? So the lander was a two-part system. So you have the lander, and then as it would apparently take off, the top part would expand, go back up, right? And the lander would stay on the moon. So underneath of that lander was where they would keep all their tools and everything else. Now, on there was actually a camera that actually ejected out and filmed Neil coming down the ladder. Do you believe that? No, obviously.
Absolutely not. Nobody went to the moon. I mean, what are the odds?
But why would the astronauts train so hard doing all this for what? Nothing? And they're going to keep quiet?
Well,
not one astronaut came clean?
Well, actually, that's not true. Astronauts have come clean. These guys didn't just get back from the moon. These are the first guys, first trip back from the moon. They are being forced to lie. Go watch that press conference. Watch it. These guys are miserable, and they're screwing up their story left and right. Just go watch that. Watch it a dozen times. This was the press conference, right? And you can't say they're tired, because they've already been in quarantine for 2 weeks where they're being briefed. Now, I think that my theory, and I can't prove it, is these guys actually thought they were going to go to the moon. And then at the last minute, they were told, no one's going to the moon, and you're going to lie, or we're going to kill your whole family. There was recently a story where I forget the guy's name. Some semi-fake truther wanted to interview Neil Armstrong. Was it Neil? Yeah, it was Neil. And he was at a convention where Neil was there. Neil was in the hotel room.
Buzz. You mean Buzz Aldrin when he punched him?
No. That's different. Oh. So, and he wanted to interview him. And they had a mutual friend, and the mutual friend was trying to convince them to, hey, do an interview with him. This guy's legit. And Neil sent a note out saying, if I grant you this interview, they'll kill my whole family. So yeah, Neil did very few interviews. He was shy. The NASA fanboys will say he was shy. No, he was humiliated. And there was recently a year or so ago, maybe less, a Polish astronaut who in a interview was having a bad day or something, and someone asked him, what do you think about the Earth being flat? And he was shocked by the question, and he goes, it's flat. I could assure you it's flat. Nobody's gone to space. Okay. When you look at there's so many problems with rockets. I mean, why would they fake rockets? Like, this is a rocket that was a CGI rocket. This is not here. This is a projected hologram like Tupac, right? And we found we were looking at photos of NASA, and we saw these giant spotlights on their lawn, and we zoomed in on one of them close enough to get a name or a serial number, and we looked it up. It's from a holographic projection company. Okay. So when you watch this thing, and they never show you one shot, there's 10 cuts in the first 15 seconds, right? But watch right here. There's a glitch that happens, and you're going to just say compression, right? I'll show it to you closer.
No, I don't even have an answer for that one.
Yeah, well, the answer is this. I
can still see it there, but
yeah, because it's halfway projected. This is what happened. Okay, it's not a cloud.
Okay, what about the space shuttle?
Was that the space shuttle?
Thing? Same thing.
Was a blimp. Did you know that NASA...
I was there for the very last space shuttle launch. I watched it go up. I watched it. I watched the boosters fall down. And there's
where were you? Were you this close?
No.
I'll show you exactly what happened.
We were about 20 kilometers away.
Yeah, and so it was very, very tiny. Now,
it wasn't tiny. It wasn't that tiny. Like, you think that 20 kilometers was away.
20 kilometers away? It's pretty friggin' tiny, I'm sure. But what you were watching was a blimp. This orange tank is a helium blimp, and I'm going to prove it to you in a minute. I'm going to prove it to you.
It's got liquid helium in it.
No. It's a blimp, like a Macy's Day Parade balloon. You're saying no, but I'm going to prove it to you in a minute. I'm sure you won't believe it, but I'm going to prove it. First, this is sending out superheated thrust at 20,000 miles an hour, probably faster. And that fence doesn't even wobble. You ever see what a 300-mile-an-hour tornado does to a fence? It turns it into a pretzel. Okay. This thing is going... It
has tunnels underneath to disperse
it. As it goes up, it's spreading out. There's no way. The amount of thrust coming out of there would kill and destroy any living being, anything. But this thing is hold on. Let me explain why this is going. It rolls over on its back because the blimp is the lightest part. It's going up. Now, this thing is going down. Now, if you just Google space shuttle launch, you'll come up with this video because this is the one they want you to see. All the editing makes those people look like they're close, like they're right there. But this thing's going. It was 30 miles downrange when these boosters came off. And when they came off, you could hear as they came off. You'll see them. You'll see this burst. And in the video, you can hear it at the exact same time. If it was only 20 miles downstream, that sound, if it made it to you, would take 90 seconds to get there. Boom. You hear it and see it at the same time. This thing's going over 17,000 miles an hour. These things can't go sideways at 17,000 miles an hour. Don't tell me this thing is out of the atmosphere because you can see that it's not. Okay. This is an impossibility. This is a stage show. Nobody is on here. Nobody. This thing, when it takes off, is 4 million pounds. It's blowing around on the wind like a bouncy house. NASA owns all of the helium companies in the world and is the largest consumer of helium because they use it for their rockets and they launch all of their satellites on balloons.
Wait, so you're a believer of satellites?
Satelloons. They're hanging in our atmosphere from balloons. They launch satellites up to 8,000 pounds on balloons that are as big as football stadiums. Okay. All out of Antarctica. And these satellites, there's tens of thousands of these things in the sky. We've caught them transiting the moon. Okay. This is they admit it. They won't. There's like 20 different satelloon programs. Okay. This is how satellites are going to space. Right? They're not in space. They're hanging from balloons, and they hide that from the public. They don't want you to know that's what's going on.
Okay, well, all right. So then you won't really argue then that one day when I was driving home with a friend of mine in the car, I'm not going to mention names here, and next thing we saw was like a huge fireball that actually came down, and I thought it was some kind of meteorite or something. And we saw where it landed, and it took us about 40 minutes to find it in the farmer's field. We actually got there. The police are already quarantined it off, but we actually still saw all kinds of debris from a satellite, like the panels and everything. And you should see the crater that it hit. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes.
Okay, it fell out of the sky. The thing comes down really fast, and
burning up though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what fuels are on there, what materials on there. Don't know, but it could burn up. I don't know. I don't believe that things fall out of the sky and burn up. But there's plenty of videos of satellites that crash in like Brazil and all over the place. And people are getting videos of them, and they all have giant balloons attached to them.
Oh, I never saw a giant balloon. I'm not going to say that I did.
In the app, what about satellites? There's some videos right there. These are videos that YouTube, Google won't serve to you because they don't want you seeing these things, right? You saw Elon Musk's car going to space, right?
Well, okay, that was, yeah, that's just a little ridiculous. But
okay,
anyway.
Thank you. We
agree
on something. I appreciate that.
But I'm going to just interject here and say, what about when Elon Musk is releasing the Starlink satellites, and you see an exact straight line right where they say it's going to be roughly. I mean, you can even ask Cheeks here.
Have you seen it yourself
it was right above my house and I filmed it. And I have a really good video of it. And they were going for like maybe about 2 minutes. And I didn't know what it was at that time.
Right.
But then when I researched it a bit and I found out it was Elon Musk's
Starlink satellite.
Or it was a row of airplanes or drones flying with LED lights on the bottom, with the same way they fake the space station going by. So again, when you're looking in the sky, you don't know the distance or the size of anything. You don't. You know, it could be, Venus could be the size of a beach ball, or it could be the size of Earth, like they say, but it's not.
Why do you think that the sun is not as big or as far as what they say?
Well, because when we send a balloon up to 120,000 feet, the sun is always off to the side. It seems like that's about where it is. You can also see that its light is thrown down locally. When you look at, the sun coming through the clouds, they tell us that all sun rays come in parallel. That's how Eratosthenes figured out the size of the planet. But how would anyone ever assume sun rays come in parallel when nobody has ever seen sun rays come in parallel? Now, you can say that that's refraction. Doesn't matter. They're still not coming in parallel. But if you do a little geometry, where is the sun that you see? And the sun that you see is not far above the clouds.
Well, okay. I mean, my answer to that would be that all the precipitation that's in the clouds can actually change it as a prism or something else that, anywhere. But I've never in my life ever seen something that looks like a cloud that's behind the sun or anything like that. Somebody said on your show one time that they saw a cloud behind the sun. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a holographic illusion.
What are you seeing right here?
That's a holographic illusion. That's something.
This is a live video of the sun.
Right. And it's through a camera or a portable phone. right?
It's for a phone and a camera at the same
Okay.
time. The person that filmed this.
So cameras can't really actually be faced towards the sun because you're going to get a glare inside the eye of the.
So the
iris of
glare
camera.
is putting clouds in front of it, behind it, below it, to the side of it, all around it. That's
No,
what's
it's
going
just
on.
the same thing as if you're looking across water, you're going to see like a mirage of a heat wave, right?
So
All right.
you're seeing a mirage of clouds behind it.
It's possibly, I don't see clouds behind it.
You don't see clouds above it, clouds below it, and clouds behind it.
I have no, I don't know. I just think that camera is messed up on that one.
What are you seeing here?
What am I supposed to see?
Well, there's kinds of three suns. They'll say that there's sun dogs and the reflections of ice crystals.
Right, and those are all in our atmosphere, the water vapors.
Okay.
I mean, if you look directly at the sun, you'll see a ring around the sun all the time, right?
It's like a round mirror.
I mean,
all suns.
I've taken pictures of it. And
So you believe in the space station, right?
I do. I really want to.
All right, so think about this. If you know anything about construction or anything, things need to be tested, need to be put together. This thing was never built on Earth, never connected on Earth. They had different countries making different parts, sending them into space without ever testing them, and then assembling them in space. Right now, you have a U.S. and you have a U.S. part and another country, and the problem is they don't connect, so they have to make a weird connector. So they're making all of these parts, sending them to space, and testing them there. Okay. Now you think about this. You got astronauts floating around, putting this stuff together. This would be the most filmed event of all time because Mission Control would need to see what's going on. And there's not a single photo or video of it being built. Not one. Okay.
National security.
National security. How about this? Why don't we see any land when we're looking down at the ocean from the space station?
Why? Because you're over top of ocean.
Okay. Well, don't you think they could be fooling us with this picture?
Okay, I give you this.
Wait, watch the picture.
I know that.
Watch the picture.
I know
Watch
that they airbrushed some stuff.
It's not
out.
airbrushed. This is us in our front yard on a solar panel, and we tricked you, showing you how easy. We have zero budget. They have $65 million a day, and I tricked you. Okay, I tricked you. I'm sorry. I had to trick you. Don't hate me. All right.
I don't hate you. I'm just saying that I just said that. I mean, it could be flying over just the ocean.
Okay.
I never said anything
This is supposedly the space shuttle filming the external tank falling down to Earth.
That's upside down too.
I don't think it might be, but this is supposedly what it's falling back to Earth and it's going to burn up before it gets to the clouds. Okay. Now watch right here. A piece of paper is going to blow by. Did you see that? Okay. That shows you that this is a balloon floating in the air. Did you see the piece of paper float by?
I saw the paper.
I don't know if it was a piece of paper.
We'll watch again. We'll watch again. When it turns over, you're going to see like this is a helicopter or something following this, zooming in on it and making you think that this is falling to Earth. This is 40,000 pounds. You know what 40,000 pounds falls like? Now watch right here in a second. You're going to see like a handkerchief or a candy wrapper that one of the guys in the helicopter dropped. About 2 seconds, 1, 2, there it goes. Right. That shows you that this is
it didn't come off the booster. I give you that.
It didn't, but no, what it's showing you is that this thing is floating and just going with the.
I honestly, by this angle, I can't tell which way it's falling.
Is it falling? How are they filming this? Is he zooming in on it as it's falling? If it's falling, it would be going a friggin' 1,000 miles an hour. Okay. It's supposed to fall so fast that it atomizes. Okay. When is it going to catch it? When is it going to gain its speed? And if you go back to that space shuttle launch, when it lets go of the external boosters, you can look at the smoke coming off of it. That thing's going maybe 50 miles an hour. Okay. 50, not 1,500.
No, I
15,000.
Yeah.
Right. But so when you see these things, so isn't the question you're supposed to ask me, what about the Challenger astronauts?
The Challenger astronauts?
Yeah, in 86, Dave.
Yeah, in 86 when it blew up.
Well, this is what Chiefs here believes.
I only was trying to talk about, I was intrigued about this photo, how can there be a coincidence that they're all still alive pretty much and they're all twins?
Let me be a NASA fanboy. They like using astronauts that have twins. That way they can test the bone density of the one that stayed here on Earth and the one that goes up in the sky. The problem is, even if that was true, which it isn't, all of these people say they're identical, or five of them, or say that they're the identical twin of the other. They have the same name, they have the same birthday, and none of them showed up at their sibling's funeral.
So how do you get this information?
There's people researching this all over the place. I have a playlist of videos. The one of this is a what college in Connecticut? Yale.
Syracuse.
She's the teacher. Yeah.
Oh, is it Syracuse or Yale?
Yale.
Yeah, she's a Yale professor, and we have a recording of her doing a speech, and she's using hand gestures and she's talking. Well, we have a recording of her as an astronaut making a speech. Same hand gestures, same dimples, same movements, same voice, same everything. There is 0% chance it's not her. 0. Okay. So again, NASA is faking everything. And the reason they're faking it is to make you feel insignificant and make you believe that people have control over your life.
Hey, Dave, if those people, if this, I've seen this like 5 years ago, this picture.
Yeah.
It's been circulating everywhere. So everyone's on showing this, but
yeah.
Why has anyone trolled these people? And
They have.
That's great.
I think it was this guy. A guy went up, got to his house, caught him like when he was in his garage, and he did a quick interview. He was really nervous, but he's like, people say that you're this, and he goes, I'm not. I could sure you. He said something really stupid, but it was totally him. I mean, there's no doubt. But what is he gonna do? Oh yeah, you got me. It's me. Absolutely not. And I don't know where these other people are, but this guy, Dick Scobie, had a company, and his website, when we first discovered this, his company was called the Flying Cows or something like that. And the animation on when you go to his website, was a cow taking off like a rocket, leaving a smoke trail, doing the same loop-de-loop that the friggin' space shuttle did. Okay.
I saw that.
You saw that.
Yeah. I've seen that.
I mean, how much do you need to go? What about this? NASA says, these are new planets. Okay. Would you believe? Why would you believe that?
Why wouldn't you?
Because they're frying pans. They're the bottom of frying pans. Again, zero budget. I'm just showing you how I have no budget.
That you did something, so that's why I was just gonna say.
Yeah, they fool you about everything. This is what NASA shows us. Beautiful, right? This is what we see.
But that's not true though, because in theory, Saturn would be like 1,000 times bigger than that.
No. The size is. They're just showing you what it looks like. We made them all the same size.
Okay.
These are not. Right. These are NASA photos. No, NASA images.
Right.
This is what we see. Like I've seen Saturn, and it looks just like this.
That's right.
You got like a burning. Yeah, and it's evenly lit, and the rings are evenly lit. Now the rings that are behind it don't seem to be lit. I get it. I'm with you, but it is its own light. Light can't reflect off of a dusty, dirty ball and then get brighter on its way back to us.
And what about Jupiter?
What about Jupiter? Oh yeah, what about Jupiter? Here, I'll show you Jupiter.
Jupiter's a gas ball.
Yeah, so I agree. Jupiter's a gas ball, right? And so see this picture of Jupiter?
Yep.
It's not Jupiter. That's a lake with ducks on it. Okay.
I was going to say there was no.
That one's too easy.
Yeah, it was a little easy.
We have a photo of the model that they used, that NASA has, and this was the picture they showed us in 2014. Now it's a gas ball. This hurricane here is bigger than Earth, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And these things are moving all of the time. Well, in 2016, about 2.5 years after this one was taken, they said, hey, we got a picture of the Northern Lights. It proves that it has a magnetic core.
I understand what you're saying, because they're actually in the exact same spots. They've never moved. They've
never moved. So they're faking it. They're faking it.
I am with you 100% that NASA is faking a lot of photos that they've given us, and for what reason we don't know yet.
Yes, I know.
There you go. That.
Yeah. This was over the course of a couple hours or a couple days,
Right, but you don't think that's true?
No. This is nonsense.
Okay. I've seen through a telescope that was roughly about 10 feet and roughly about 3.5 feet in diameter. Okay, and I've seen Jupiter, and I've seen its moons, and I look the next day, and the moons are never in the same spot.
Oh no, the moons, those things are moving. Those are satellites of whatever that is. Satellites, not like the man-made term, whatever that is. It has these things going around it, just like Saturn has its rings going around it. Earth, Earth is not a planet. So again, yeah, they're whatever they are. We don't know what they are. They're lights in the sky. Like when we look, our optics have outgrown their lives. This is the star Arcturus. This is not a star trillions and trillions of miles away. Joey,
they pulsate like a pulsar.
Yeah. Do you know how long I'm going to just to get these numbers in effect? How long do you think 1 trillion seconds is?
Well, yeah, I know it's honestly, I can't even think of it.
Take a guess. Just take a stab. You're not going to even be close, but take a stab.
I don't know.
10 hours?
About
I don't know.
I'm gonna say roughly about 150 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, 31,000 years. Okay.
31,000
Oh my God.
years?
Yeah.
A trillion seconds?
1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. Okay.
Trillion seconds.
Double check me later. Guaranteed I'm right because we've done the math. 31,000 years.
Wow.
Okay. You're trying to do the math now.
No,
A billion seconds is 31 years.
You'll make a
1,000
calculator smart
billions
enough.
is 31,000 years.
Okay.
So they tell us that our sun is this giant ball, right? The sun is this giant ball and Earth is a tiny little dot next to it, right?
Well, we're not really next to it.
Well,
but
whatever.
yeah.
And the sun appears to be the size of a coin held at arm's length. It's just a small circle in the sky. And that's because, and they tell us it's 93 million miles away. Imagine if I had the sun was just the height of the clouds over us.
93
million miles away. That's what they tell us. The sun
I'm sorry. I'm going by kilometers. It's 151,000 kilometers.
So Joey, pay attention. If the sun was as close to the Earth, and just for model purposes, as the height of the clouds, it's just a couple thousand feet over your head. When you looked up, what would you see? Horizon to horizon, you'd see just the sun. It would fill the entire sky.
Absolutely, but yeah.
Okay. So now we move it 93 million miles away, and it goes. It just becomes the size of a coin held at arm's length. So now it's just a little tiny circle in the sky.
But it's not.
Well, no,
it's not because 1.3 million Earths can fit in that sun.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, due to perspective, it gets really, really small.
Are you going to do the line one?
No. So it's right here. It's right close. It fills the whole sky. We move it away. It's not getting smaller. It's just appearing to be smaller because it's going away.
Camera optic illusion. Right?
No, not camera. No camera. Just we look at the sun. It's far away. Everything gets smaller in the distance due to perspective. Our eyes have an angular resolution limit of 0.02 degrees. Anything smaller than that, we can't see. So the sun reduced from the entire sky to the little dot, the little circle that we see. If I moved it 6 times, if I moved it 24 times farther, that would be equivalent. The sun is 8 light minutes away. So 8 times farther would be a light hour. 24 times farther would be 3 light hours away.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
There's no way we could see the sun at 3 light hours away. Its size would be too small, and the brightness issues, that's a whole nother issue. You wouldn't be able to see it because the brightness wouldn't even be able to make it.
But then technically we shouldn't see Saturn either.
Well, we don't, because Saturn's right here within the Earth system. So if the sun was 3 times farther away, that would be 24 times farther away. That would be 3 light hours. There's no way we can see it. We probably couldn't see it at double the distance, but I'm just being safe. Right? They tell us Polaris is 46 times bigger. Okay. Well, if we made it 46 times farther, that's 6 light days. Okay. Right. Or, I'm rounding up even.
Okay. Yeah.
So Polaris would be unviewable to the human eye at 6 light days away. And they tell us it's 433 light years away. It's like 100 trillion miles, more than 100 trillion miles. It's distance. I can't even say the friggin' number. And you believe that we can see it, right? So I believe
what I see with my eyes.
Yeah, but you're not thinking with your brain, because this is what they tell us.
Yes, I saw your Helios. Yes.
We're corkscrewing through the galaxy thousands of miles a year, circular patterns going all over the place. 6 months later, we're 180 million miles on the other side of the sun, or 190, whatever it is.
Okay, so why are we seeing the same stars?
Because we're not moving and the stars are circling around us. You're making my argument for me. Okay. Do you know about where are you guys located?
Well, we don't see the same stars in the wintertime as we do in the summertime.
And I'll explain perfectly why. It makes perfect sense on a flat Earth. It makes no sense on a. You see some of the same stars, but that's just due to the stars are circling above us, and the sun. I'll show you. I'll show you in a moment why, and you'll have to just put it together. You know about the Georgia Guidestones?
Yes.
Besides the messages on them, which is a whole nother rabbit hole, there's a hole in one of them, a thin little hole, like a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
And when you look through that hole, guess what you see?
What do you see?
You see Polaris. It never moves. You do a time lapse, the stars go all the way around it. Polaris never moves. How the frig can we be corkscrewing through the universe? And for 40 years, Polaris has never moved from that hole.
But who says we're corkscrewing through the universe?
All of science.
I've never heard that.
Well, we're orbiting the sun, correct?
Right.
The sun's moving at 500,000 miles an hour. We're chasing the sun.
Are you saying the sun is moving away from us?
No, we're according to I'm glad you're questioning this because this is insanity. All of the planets are staying on the same plane. Somehow if this was the sun, we're all orbiting around and chasing it as the sun is cruising through the friggin' galaxy.
But you're talking about the expansion of the universe. As the universe expands, the universe is actually expanding. It's moving. We're not really moving.
Joey, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. You are scrambling to protect your belief in this helio-nonsensical bullshit model. Okay.
I don't believe that at all.
Well, then that's good because this is what means then you don't believe in the heliocentric. Welcome to Flat Earth. Take off that sweatshirt. Okay. This is what mainstream science tells us is happening.
No, that's
Joey,
horseshit.
Joey, thank God. Unwind it. None of it's true. If this isn't true, everything that you've been defending is not true because this is what they tell us is happening.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't believe that we're in a dome.
Okay. But you don't believe that we're in a heliocentric model universe, a solar system either.
But do you believe that like Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and all of those are spherical?
Do you guys
And what
have
about
lights?
the moon and the sun? Are they spherical also, or are they flat?
Let me ask a question. And do you have lights in the ceiling in the room where you are right now?
Yeah.
All right, look at those lights. Look at those lights carefully. Study them. Tell me what shape the floor is by looking at those lights.
What shape the floor is?
Yeah.
Square.
Well,
it's
but how
flat.
can that be?
It's
The
a
lights
flat
are
ceiling.
spherical.
The floor is flat.
The lights
No.
are spherical.
They're not spherical. They're flat.
Are they flat? What kind of lights you got there?
Other pot lights.
What I'm saying
LED
is the
pot.
what you see, the pool balls on the pool table do not dictate the shape of the table. Okay. The analogy you're making is nonsense. But as long as you bring it up, here are 4 moons. And before the hand picks up the moon, tell me, is it sphere or not a sphere? Is that a sphere? Quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it looks like a sphere, but it's actually a half a cup. How about this one? Is this one a sphere?
You're showing us half a sphere then
It's
on
just
all
like
of them.
balls.
It looks like a sphere, but it's not either. It's flat. Okay. Right. So what I'm saying is you don't know. What about this
Illusion.
one? Is this one a
Illusion.
sphere? Is this one a sphere?
Well, I'm going to guess
Probably,
everything is
yeah.
not.
No, that's a cup. What I'm saying is first, even if they were all spheres, it doesn't dictate the shape of the
No,
earth.
and I understand that, but everything also is like an illusion, as like just like David Copperfield would do. That's just exactly like an illusion.
Unless you can get your hands on it and measure it, are these tables the same shape and the same size?
No.
They can be, yes, absolutely.
Well, they absolutely are the same shape
That's
and
right.
same size.
Yes.
We put a piece of paper on it and then watch,
That's right.
turn it sideways.
That's
It's
right.
all
Yes.
it's all the way your mind sees it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, okay. I mean, I was a tool and die engineer, so I know mechanics and how things work. And now, in regards to planes, I understand what you said about the planes and the weight of the fuel that goes and stuff, and how you guys said that that it could be like electric engines. I mean, that would be amazing if that was true.
We're not talking about that, but you know,
Just in reference to High Vibes Up video. That's why.
yeah.
That's
I mean, if you want to learn about the no jet fuels in big jet planes, not little private jet planes, just go to stoplookthink.com and find the no
You have it? Okay.
Yeah. Stop
no
Look.
fuel.
I've never heard of that website. It must is it well known?
Stoplookthink.com. Bring food and water if you go there because
Oh,
you're
God.
gonna get sucked down some rabbit holes.
What about solar eclipses?
Yeah. So solar eclipses. What's funny about a solar eclipse is the sun. So backing up a little bit, when you go out and you're away from all city lights and there's a big clear night, full moon, you can read a book by the moonlight. It casts shadows on the ground. You can drive your car with the
Sometimes,
lights off.
yeah, I agree.
If
Sometimes,
it's clear and the moon is out there and you're right, so the moon is sending an amazing amount of light to the earth.
and
Okay?
the way we were taught, it's a reflection from the sun.
Well, okay, that's fine. We're gonna go with that, and I would call that moonshine, right? Not the
Okay.
not the alcohol. It's the moonshine
Okay,
on the
yep,
earth.
yep.
So during a total solar eclipse, if you were on the moon on the side facing the earth, you would have a full earth, like a full moon.
Right.
But the earth is, I would say, a little shinier and 6 times bigger. So the amount of earth shine should throw some light on the moon. Now, during a solar eclipse, a solar eclipse always happens when there's a new moon. A new moon is when there's no light on the moon.
Right.
And when the moon goes new, it's always seeing a full earth from our point of view, or from their point of view, a full earth, lit up earth. But nobody, from the time it goes new, nobody on any airplane, on the space station, on any rocket, on any balloon, any special lenses, nobody has ever seen the moon in less than like 42 hours. That's almost 2 full days. No one's ever seen it. Now, people say, well, that's because it's so close to the sun's blinding you. Well, during a total eclipse, the sun, it blocks the sun completely, right? And therefore, the earth shine should light up the moon, but nobody with any infrared camera, nothing has been able to see the surface of the moon when it's eclipsing the sun. So if you want to see, you don't believe in a dome, but I have a belief on how these eclipses happen. And it has to do with the sun and the moon that we see are actually being projected inside of the dome, which you don't believe in. And the true source is beyond the dome. And during a solar eclipse, we can see it. I'm going to pull up a video, and I'm going to pull up my app, and I'm going to show you how seasons work, and then we can take it from there. So this is my app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Cheeks has it, and what I tell people is, don't believe flat Earth. That's fine. Just watch the daily video each day. 1 video a day. Short ones during the week, longer ones on the weekend. And every day there's a new featured video added. And then you too will lose the respect of your family and friends. But because you'll be a flat earther. If I hit the question mark and I say, what about eclipses down here on the bottom right? I click that. Up comes a playlist that YouTube doesn't want you to see. So here is a video that I made. And I'm gonna just kind of go through it real quick. So on the right is the solar eclipse that I filmed. There was a little chemtraily, foggy sky, so it was really easy to photograph it without blowing out the lens. On the left, I'm making a simulated eclipse, and you can't see what's eclipsing it because it's behind the paper towel, and that paper towel is what I call the sky screen. So on a previous eclipse, somebody was filming the eclipse, and now again there's a big eclipse going on there. And it was almost full, but it's blowing out the lens because it's so bright. But here was this one, this one that's moving around is a flare, and the other one was kind of locked in position. Like we're like, what is that? And why is it mimicking the amount of eclipse that should be done? Like now the eclipse, the big one is just blowing out the lens. It is eclipse, 90%, just like that little one. So we're trying to figure out what it is. And what I say it is, I think it's the projector from the other side of the dome. And so I made a little experiment, and I'm going to go back to my my demonstration. So I have the sky screen, and I'm making the eclipse. Now you can't see what's eclipsing that, but something is, but you can't see it no matter how much I zoomed in on it. And that's because there's no light being projected. So the light is being projected, and the eclipse is happening by a new moon, and no one will ever see it approach or leave the face of what we're seeing, the sun. So when I compare this, then I said, wait a minute. I said that paper towel is too opaque. And so I did it with toilet paper, a little thinner, tissue paper. Okay. And when I did that, here comes the eclipse. And look, the right here is the projector, just like we saw when we saw the eclipse. Now, I'm not saying this is it. I'm saying I modeled it. Nobody else has in the helio nonsensical model. It looks like the same thing. It looks like the same
I
thing.
give him that. I give
Okay.
you that. I give you that. It looks like the same thing. I mean, I don't know myself what
Yeah.
it is, so I don't know. And where
All
do you
right,
get these?
and
Where do you
again,
get these videos from?
So these videos in 2015, where everyone started making flat earth videos, and they were just cranking it out. You watch one flat earth video, YouTube would serve you a whole plate of flat earth videos because they didn't realize what was happening. They didn't realize the cat was out of the bag. So I've saved all of these videos. Like if you go and search, hey, top 10 reasons the earth could be flat, YouTube and Google are going to serve you top 10 reasons the earth is a globe. Okay. If you say, fake moon landing, they're going to send you the NVIDIA video. They're going to send you PsyOp Man Dan. They're going to send you Not Professor Dave. They're going to send you all of these shills, by the way, which we have destroyed in these videos in here, debunking the debunkers. These are paid government shills that just spend all day, all night, gaslighting us. In here, all sorts of stuff. Here are all my interviews up here. If you click that, up come all of the interviews, which are a little easier to find because you just search my name. I kind of broke their algorithm because I'm on so many different channels. But if you want to find real good flat earth videos, this is the way to do it. What I say, if you really want to get into it, this button right here, these are the best videos. These are feature length videos. Sit down with a beer, popcorn, dinner, the wife, kids,
So
date.
I think I have like the best type of way of saying what you're saying. Earth is a dome and flat Earth. So basically, you're saying that is. Have you ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
The True Man Show, 100%.
No, The Truman Show.
The True Man Show. I get it. They're telling you right here. Let me show you.
That's what you're saying, that we live kind of like, how like when a light fell down and
yeah,
he
and
believes
they
that
called
he's
it
living
Siri.
in a city, but yet they're stopping him from leaving.
Right.
And everything's like a movie set, right?
100%. And
So
we'll talk about that.
You're saying that we're living in right now.
Yes, 100%. So
let me ask you this: why? And please don't take this the wrong way, okay?
No, that's all right. Ask anything you want.
So like if you have so many followers, right? And
yeah,
and okay, great. If you ask $1 from every follower, hey, I want to prove the governments, I want to prove everybody wrong, and I want to do this, right? Why not get a boat and go and film the ice walls that is surrounding us and just like post it out there and just destroy them if it's true.
If you film the ice wall?
Yeah. And just keep sailing until you can't sail, until you get to the exact same location. I mean, I was watching your show, but I didn't understand your app. There's no south on there.
I'm going to show you all of that. These are all great questions. Let's focus on what you just said. But as far as one, we're not allowed to go to Antarctica, and the last guy that tried was stopped by military ships, threatened to be sunk.
Yes,
and sent back
we can't go on there. That's right. I agree.
You can't get within 1,000 miles of it. Okay,
but you can get within a reach of that. You can see it.
No, you can't go beyond the 60th parallel. But here's pictures of the ice wall. There's millions of them. Okay, this is it's not the ice wall like the Game of Thrones. It's the shoreline of Antarctica. Okay,
right.
We don't live on a disc with a wall holding in the water. We live in what I call the Antarctic basin. Okay, so we don't live on a disc floating in space. That's all flat Earth society nonsense. We live in the low spot in the land, right? All of the islands, all of the continents are surrounded by water, but the water needs a container. That container is Antarctica, and Antarctica surrounds our world pond. It is the container. Antarctica could be bigger than all of the countries, all of the land, and all of the oceans combined. Antarctica, we live in the Antarctic basin. Antarctica is not a continent at the bottom of a spinning ball. Joey, you had it right. The easiest way to put flat Earth to rest, prove the globe, in one day, and for not that much money, get 2 airplanes, go from Santiago, go here, refuel. They have fuel here. Okay. One plane flies this way and just watching the edge. And
But
one
you can't
plane
fly over top of certain parts of Antarctica.
Well, we're not going to fly. We're going to fly just around the shoreline. We're going to stay offshore.
Okay, so you can fly. You're allowed to fly.
No,
over
you're not allowed to. No one's allowed to do this. They'll never let anyone do this, but this would put it to bed.
Right.
2 airplanes, and it's 13,000 miles around. So 6,500 miles later, they should both meet over here. Okay.
Okay.
But they can't because the Earth is set up like this. The last person to try to circumnavigate in a boat was Captain Cook, and it took him over 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that
60,000 miles. And that's because Antarctica isn't a continent on the bottom of the ball. Antarctica is the shoreline that surrounds the world ponds. You know, you've seen the plane flights, right? From Buenos Aires to Perth. This is what FlightAware says is the fastest trip, but can't disturb the penguins, so we have to go around it, right?
Well,
This
yeah,
would be
you're not allowed to because of the military bases there, and you're not
whatever.
allowed to fly
That's
anywhere
a
near
cool
there.
story, bro. Not true. But the short, so this would be the shortest trip, but that's not how they go, right? Check this out. That's what this is the actual route they go. They go all the way up here to Miami to Houston, and then to Miami or Houston. Then they stop again in LA. Then they go to Sydney. Then they go over here. It's like 26 hours. Or they go here, Europe, Singapore, and over. And why didn't they just cut across the bottom? And the answer is because that doesn't exist. You can't do that. It doesn't exist.
Well, I have actually a flight path of the Airbus A380s.
You have they lie about the flight path. The flight from Buenos Aires to Cape Town, they tell you it goes right here. That's what they show you on the seat back. This is what they tell you. It should take 9 hours. Okay. But that's if there was a direct flight. There's no direct flights. Okay.
No direct flights, yes.
And what it does is it goes
Yeah.
all
I've
the way
heard
up
on
here,
there.
all the way up to where you can't even
Around.
see it over the ball. And then they come all the way back down. Okay. And it takes 29 hours. This is how they go. Bam, bam. Why didn't they just fly across here? Why
Well,
didn't
Yeah, it would make sense, right?
because the Earth is flat. So let's talk about the why that you asked about the directions. This will explain it. At the center of the flat Earth is the magnetic north. We think there's a mountain there, but there's a magnetic force there, and all compasses will point to it. So here's a
Okay.
compass. The needle's pointing towards the center. I'm trying to push this compass west, but I have to keep turning to the north to maintain my western compass heading. East and west are circles on a flat Earth and on a globe Earth, so it doesn't prove it. If I'm going east now, I have to keep turning. I have to keep turning to maintain my 90 degrees east. 90 degrees is a circle around the magnetic center. Now, if I try to dead reckon 270 degrees west, the second I start moving, I'm heading south. I'm no longer heading west. South is every line heading away from the north. That is the truth. Now, on a flat Earth, though, on a globe Earth, on the southern oceans, you wouldn't correct to the north. You'd have to correct to the south. And we have testimony from Navy ship captains that say they always have to correct to the north. Okay. If you want to go south, you can, but you ain't popping up over here because you're going to keep on going. Nobody has circumnavigated south. Okay. Now, one guy said, the guy called the ZQ pilot, he said he was going to do the first southern circumnavigation and go for the Guinness Book of World Records. Here's the route: North Pole, Alaska, California, Hawaii. Is that Hawaii out there? These islands over here, Santiago. And then he went to the South Pole and he said the weather was too bad. So he had to turn around. He came back, went up to Brazil, East Coast, and up. And we're like, okay, well, he had to turn around. Therefore, he's not going to get it. Guinness Book gave him the world record for southern circumnavigation. Okay. He gave him the record. This is all he did. He went to it's like the thing, my road, which is a straight road. If I keep going, I'll end up on the other side of the road. And he said he went to the end of the road. He touched the goalpost and then he went back and went to the other side of the road. And they're saying that's the same friggin' thing. This is bullshit. Okay. Dude, take the shirt off, throw it out, light it on fire. Okay.
I can't do that. I can't do that just yet, Dave.
He's getting close.
Because you know what? I mean, I'm gonna argue you. I am, regardless, I'm gonna argue you. But you know, I know we can't go through a lot of all my points today because we had some technical difficulties and whatever.
Yeah, we got 10 more minutes.
But you know, regardless, all these questions that I have, we can't cover in
We're
10
gonna have to
minutes.
do multi-parts,
We will have to definitely come and talk with you one more time, at least one more time, because I have a ton of questions.
I've been lying to you this entire time. I'm on the space station. Okay, prove me wrong. I'm on the space station.
And I'm in Hollywood right now too.
Yeah,
so
but that's a painting. That's not even a real picture.
You're floating, Dave.
Look here. The Earth is a globe. Here's the proof. I got this cartoon over here. Right? The Earth is a globe.
Oh man. Oh
okay.
Man.
Yeah, and this is my house. I'm in my house.
Oh, okay. So what about GPS here?
GPS.
Yes, you know. Okay, let me just
the
explain.
ground positioning.
I mean, I know
system.
what my house looks like. I know what it looks like from above too, because I've flown a small plane over top of it.
Sure.
And blah blah blah. What is all that? The space junk.
No, those are satellites.
But I thought you said that there wasn't satellites.
Well, it's a painting of the imaging of pretend satellites. But go ahead, tell me a story, and then I'll tell you why satellites are bullshit.
So basically, I mean, every single road, everything that I see it. I just need to click a button and I find it. And it's not
100%.
airbrushed.
Agreed. GPS is real. I get it. Ground positioning system.
Okay, but where's the cameras?
No, it's not cameras. There's what they did is in the 60s and 70s and probably even before, they had the Loran system, which was a tower-based coordinate system. And when I used to go out on our boat, we'd look on the map and we'd look at the numbers. We get these 2 8-digit numbers, and I look and I say, okay, we're right here, and bam, it was dead right. But then all of a sudden, they came out with a graphic overlay for it and said, oh, it's not done by towers anymore. It's done by satellites falling around on Earth that's corkscrewing through space. I mean, think about a geostationary satellite. This one, let's pretend this guy's geostationary, which means it has to stay over the same piece of land.
Right.
The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, chasing the sun on a curved path, at over 500,000 miles per hour. And that satellite knows how to mimic all of those motions.
But when the way that you're saying that we're spinning so fast, we rotate only once a day. Yes, it's the
rim speed. It's the tangential rim speed. It doesn't matter how many times you're going around. They've proven it where everything would explode at that rim speed. 1,000 miles an hour is 1,000 miles an hour.
But the true equation of that is H equals R minus R COS S/2R.
Yeah, you can make up an equation for anything, and I'll show you that in a minute. But if the Earth was a spinning ball and we had satellites doing GPS, there would be GPS everywhere. Here's the problem. There's no GPS in rural Kansas. There's no GPS between California and Hawaii. There's no GPS over the Amazon jungle. There's no GPS in the southern hemisphere, in the southern oceans, and there's no GPS in Antarctica. Okay, that's because there's no tower systems. Like when you get a more than 150 miles, 200 miles offshore, and there's no islands with population, you're in approximated mode. When you leave California, go get a professional tracking software, and the plane goes into approximated mode. When a plane leaves South America, as soon as it's a little bit offshore, bam, it disappears off of GPS, and it only shows up when it's about 100 miles from its landing shoreline. Again, GPS proves that the Earth is a flat stationary plane. As a matter of fact, NASA's documents, which is all bullshit, the FAA documents, CIA documents, they all say they model the Earth, they model for these aircrafts using a flat, non-rotating plane. A flat, non-rotating plane 150 times in these documents. Why would they say a flat, non-rotating plane when we're on a spinning space ball flying through an infinite vacuum, which is also impossible? Once upon a time, nothing exploded, created everything, and all the rocks got together and turned into rocky balls, and all of the gases decided to turn into bigger balls that had more gravity than the rocky balls, and they left a fucking vacuum in between. Are you kidding me? A gas ball in a vacuum? Okay, this is insanity. Insanity, all right?
You must say that a lot,
dude. Dude,
yeah, you say it with so much passion. Insanity.
It's because it's ridiculous. Check this out. This is the fucking
Hubble.
Is this? Wait, I might be tricking you. Is it the Hubble, or is it a can of fucking beans and a soda can wrapped in tinfoil?
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I can't really see that, but
all right. Well, it is the Hubble.
It
okay,
looks like
it is the Hubble, but it could be what I just said. So here's the thing: on Earth, we have these giant satellites, which by the way are all in the southern hemisphere, and they're all looking out south. They're not looking up for some reason. Okay. And these things, when they're doing these long exposure shots, they tell us, on these science shows that I used to watch, that the cement pad needs to be like 10 feet thick, because a technician just walking by during one of these long exposures, the vibration of his foot could ruin the photo by vibrating the mirror just the tiniest bit.
Okay.
Right. So they tell us that. Are they forgetting that the fucking Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, and moving sideways at over 1,000,000 miles per hour? And also, if this thing is doing the same thing, this thing's falling around the Earth at 17,500 miles an hour. What the fuck is a little vibration gonna do when it's
But who
moving?
says that's actually? Are you saying that it's stationary or it's actually rotating around?
This thing is for it to maintain in space. There's still gravity here, but it's falling around the Earth the same rate as the Earth curvature is falling. That's what an orbit is. That's what they tell us an orbit is, that you're falling towards Earth, but every mile you fall, the Earth's curvature drops a mile. And
So you don't believe in gravity though, then?
No, gravity is, as I was showing you earlier, the Earth is an electrical system. And what it is, there's been no tests of gravity where mass attracts mass. So why do we go down? Well, there's two factors: relative buoyancy and density. If I had a handful of ping pong balls and rocks and I held them over a pool and I dropped them, they're both going to fall through the air because they're more dense than the air. The ping pong balls are going to sit on top of the water and the rocks are going to go to the bottom of the water.
Right.
Okay. But what makes them go down? Because if I had a handful of rocks and I made the Earth just disappear and I dropped them, why would they go that way? Why wouldn't they go that way or that way? Right? Because which way is down? Well, the Earth has a negative charge to it, a testable, measurable negative charge to it. And that charge attracts things. When you leave the Earth, there's voltage in the air. At 1 meter, there's 100 volts. 2 meters, it goes up by 100 volts every meter. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so that negative charge attracts things to the Earth. All right. And then buoyancy and density sort everything else out. And one of the ways that we can kind of prove that is if we alter that negative charge, if we give something an opposite charge, it will lift up. Like this tinfoil, we put a negative charge in it, bam, it goes up in the air, right? Is that defying gravity, or is it just defying the negative charge? Okay.
Well, define the negative charge.
Yeah, well, because there's no gravity, the Earth is negatively charged, testably, measurably, provably. That is what makes things go down. And it's a weak force, just like they say gravity is a weak force. Listen to the high priest of scientism, Neil deGrasse Tyson, when asked what is gravity, he goes, we don't know what gravity is, and they make up friggin' dark matter to fill in 96% of it. Dark matter and dark energy, because if it wasn't there, then gravity wouldn't work, and it has to work.
No.
That's what they say. They say there has to be dark matter, there has to be dark enery, because
to have gravity, they have to have dark matter.
Yeah, dark matter, because the gravity equation doesn't work unless you have dark matter and dark energy. They're like, for our gravity model to work, there must be this matter that we can't see. They're just making up shit, dude. Take off the sweatshirt.
They do make up. I give you. They do make up shit. I do.
I want you to burn it. I want you to make a video.
It's not coming off just yet. It's not going to be coming off just yet. Oh man.
What are the odds that just before the Apollo missions, a NASA advisor, a NASA astronaut, a sci-fi author,
here we go.
Sci-fi writer, a movie director, right? And the senior administrator of NASA were all together.
And I'll tell you the answer
Hollywood.
to that one. I'll tell you the answer to that one.
Boy.
When they were about to launch and they were afraid of failure and they didn't want the Russians to know it or anybody else to know it. So they did make a studio, and I'm going to give you that. They did make a studio, and therefore, if it didn't work, they were going to do the studio. After that, it did work, so they didn't need the studio. And Kubrick he actually denied the whole involvement in it. It wasn't him.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, I can do that one too.
Everyone's questioned that about Stanley Kubrick, if he made that, and that I don't know.
I mean, don't you think?
I mean, look at his movie. Oh, come on. All right. There's no photos of Earth. There's no photos of any planets. All of it is nonsense. None of it is verifiable. The flat Earth is verifiable. We
But
can
no,
see
it's
too
not
far.
verifiable either because there's no proof of that either.
Yes, it is. If the Earth is a ball, 24,900 miles around, 900 miles around, 901 miles around, there would be a curvature drop that is calculated. And at 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature, believe it or not. At 100 miles, there should be 6,000 feet of curvature. But somehow a Navy ship can put a pencil thin laser beam on another ship over 100 miles away, where there should be a wall of water higher than a mountain of water, a mile
For that,
high.
are you using 8-inch by
8 inches per mile
cube?
squared.
By
Yeah,
square,
but
yeah.
even if you take the
But that's
Glovers and
wrong,
say
though.
it's only half of that. Okay, half of it. Okay, it's half a mile high. How you they don't even say that it's half of it. It by the way, it makes a parabola. It's good for the first few thousand miles.
But
Okay,
the parabola is not even around. The
it doesn't
parabola
matter.
is-
For the first couple hundred miles, it's super accurate. Okay, but I'm even going to give you all the credit. Let's say we'll take half of that dip away, half of it. No Glober's even asking for that much. You still can't see it. Okay, you still can see it, is what I'm saying. We can see too far. There is no curvature. It's not a friggin' mirage. There are mirages, but not what we're talking
we
about.
can see very, very far, and because the Earth is so big, I think that the flat earthers think that we think that the ball is
No,
very
that's a
small.
program response from Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, that got you to say the Earth is so big you can't see it, but you can see you can see boats going over the horizon. It's all optical. It's all optical stuff. Listen, Joey, it's been 2017. It's 4 years. It's time you got rid of the shirt.
Hold
okay?
on a second. Hold on. Before I even say it's going to come off, because it's not going to come off right now. But I gotta tell you, do you not think that we have advanced in technology since like 1881?
No, I think we have gone way backwards. In the 1800s, there was advanced technology. You ever looked into Tartaria? Go back into the app. I'll show you in the app and click the Tartaria button. There was a worldwide civilization here. They had ships as big as aircraft carriers floating through the sky. They built buildings that are still here that we couldn't build today. And they supposedly built them with horses and buggies back then. Wait until you look into all of that. It's going to blow your mind.
Where's
It's
the
a lie.
proof of that, though?
There's photos and videos. There's all sorts of stuff. So here's the proof.
They had video cameras back in 1881.
In the early 1900s, when the World's Fairs were is basically the takeover. They were teaching flat Earth until the 1920s and 30s all across the world. You hit the middle button, which is the web button, and then on the bottom right, you hit the mud floods, and up come all of these videos. I say subscribe to all of these channels, and you'll realize that you have no friggin' idea what your history is. And this isn't speculation. This is proof. Okay. There's so much proof. It's unbelievable. I'm offering a Bitcoin to anybody that can come up with one globe proof. All right. But first in the app, you have to go look at
You're offering a Bitcoin for what?
one proof of the globe. Just one.
One proof of a globe. There you go.
Proof of the
One
globe.
Bitcoin. That's a
One
lot of
proof of the
money now.
globe.
It's like,
It is,
just
actually.
But I
just
say
under
this,
40,000
before you
US.
do it, you have to get the app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You have to watch the daily video every day for a week or for 2 weeks, and then when you come up with your question, hit the frequently asked questions button, because it's answered in there, guaranteed. It's answered. You're not going to come up with any, because we got them all. We got it all covered. So
You got to get his shirt off, Dave. Come on.
yeah, it's all right. Listen, let him wear it for a little bit. Listen, we were all in your place one day, Joey. You're hanging on, but you're gonna the only thing that's been to space is your imagination. Okay.
So you're basically saying that Chris Hadfield is lying.
He is a lying traitor to humanity and should be hung. Sorry. Listen, these astronauts, I grew up, I was a little kid, the moon landings were happening. And I'm like, wow, this is the greatest thing. It's easy to lie to people. It's harder to convince them they've been lied to. Okay.
Okay. All right. So Einstein, you have Sir Isaac Newton and Stephen Hawking. They're all liars.
Stephen Hawking, he was dead 50 years ago. Okay. Nobody lives with ALS that long. Okay, that was a
I know
puppet.
it was very long that he did live with ALS.
Nobody. They lived 5 years at the most. He lived like 40 years or something. And why didn't they ever change his voice? Why did they give him that you know, they've updated fucking voices since then. Okay. Just look at it. He was a puppet. He's mocking us. It's all
But
mockery.
Hawking was he never worked for any government agency.
No, he probably was a good scientist and stuff, but you know, they maybe they gave him ALS because he was going to expose stuff. There was
Possible.
a professor that
possible.
in the 1950s that talked about the moon being plasma, and the reporter's like, well, we're going to be going to the moon soon. He's like, no one's going to the moon. He goes, you know, new science is going to prove it, and then he was disappeared, and that was the end of it. Dude, NASA, this is their famous photo, the first photo of Saturn. Okay. It's friggin' layered. This is not even Photoshop. This was done before Photoshop. They didn't expect us to take their photo, put it into Photoshop and crank up the levels. And this is what we see. This is done in layers. It's a cut and pasted collage by a 12-year-old.
Okay, what is that about? Like, what do you mean? What's the?
This is the one of the first pictures of Saturn. It's cut off right here, but this is the picture. But we took this picture off of their website.
Okay.
We cranked it up in Photoshop. They didn't even PNG it. This is when they made this, they didn't have Photoshop. So they made it by cutting and pasting together. And then they took a picture of it.
Okay.
And they didn't realize that the black here isn't the same as the black here.
Okay.
And so when we cranked up the levels, this is clearly done as a cut and paste physical with photos.
And when was that photo taken?
This was the first, I don't know what the year was, but this was the first picture of NASA that NASA really published of Saturn. It was like the first flyby, fake flyby. So there we go, guys. You can find me at theflatearthpodcast.com. Check out my app. It's $2.99. And it's less than a beer. You have it forever. There's super updates coming, tons of resources. And if you don't like it, if you're not sure, just go read the reviews. It's the highest rated app in the App Store and the Google Play Store. Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. Look for this. There's already a knockoff by the Flat Earth Society type people. Get their app. That's fine. Just don't send me an email telling me my app sucks because it's not my app.
Well, it was a pleasure, Dave.
All right, guys.
Dave,
Enjoy.
I'd really like to talk to you one more time because I do have a few more questions. And maybe
Why don't
you
you
have the answers for them.
How about this? Get the app, watch it for a couple weeks, and then write down your questions, and we'll do another show.
Part 2.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys.
Everybody, live life loud. Cheers
right.
and cheeks out.
Joey Leon
Yeah.
Jr. out of here. Thanks,
Dave, you're out.
Later, guys.
Insanity.
Thanks.
All right, guys. See ya.
That
All
was
right,
great.
we'll see
Take
ya.
care of yourself.
Thanks.
Bye.